stop with all that talking, we gon' get it poppin'. You know they be hating, but they keep on watching. He say he gon' do this and that, you know he flashing. When you was watching Batman, I was...
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You already know, I'm Mike Ramirez. That's my brother and co-host, Big Nando, and we're the MMA Bros. Yes, you already know. UFC 287 in Miami. You already know, live. Went to a lot of events, met a lot of fighters. It's been just amazing atmosphere here. UFC, for some reason, hasn't been here in 20 years. And we're not sure, but of course they're going to be back after this huge gate, 11+ million sold out once again. What a great weekend. We're in episode 9. You already know it's been wild. A lot of promotions happening. Shout out to PFL last week. They had the season launch. Congrats to the winners. Of course, Brendan Loughnane, just met him yesterday in Miami. Just what an amazing, what an amazing champion. Of course, you know, you got Bellator throwing out events, not this weekend coming up, but after that, they got some consecutive events coming up. Met Sergio Pettis, too, champion. So they're just a lot of great things. Shout out to Ilya Taporia, too. Met him.
Fire.
Yeah, so we're going to jump right into UFC 287, ladies and gentlemen, because, of course, Miami is just an amazing atmosphere, but now we just got one of the best MMA stories in the history of the sport. Yeah. Israel Adesanya reclaims what is the championship middleweight belt and new. Give me your thoughts, man. I mean, this was just an amazing story.
I mean, just when I thought it was gonna end right there, you know what I'm saying? It looked like it was over for Izzy. You know, it looked like it was almost deja vu was happening in the last fight. It was happening right now again in the second round of the second fight in the UFC. I mean, I thought it was almost over, to be honest with you. Izzy seemed like he had balled up.
Yeah.
Alex Pineda started giving his body shots. And then out of nowhere, I mean, what they say it was the hit from the gods. I mean, I heard Izzy say it and Joe Rogan say it. They were like, man, he had a power hit from the gods. He had a punch from the gods. I mean, Izzy came out of nowhere with one of the best knockouts I've ever seen. I mean, a comeback knockout. I mean, he put him out straight cold. I mean, the after knockout, where he pulled out the arrow and dude, I mean, it was one of the most amazing things in the UFC I've ever seen. For sure, that got to be the most top 5 best things I've ever seen in the UFC. I mean, and knockouts as well. That was incredible. Wow.
Yeah, knocked out after
the year. I don't think anything's beating that. That was crazy. That's comeback of the year and knockout of the year, just like Leon Edwards last year.
Yeah, and like a feel-good story. It's just, you know, it's just an amazing feat. Just congrats to Adesanya.
Yeah,
he was wobbled there in the second round, and you know, he was taking consecutive shots, a knee up the middle, and just clipped Alex Pereira with the right, and then just finished him, knocked him down, and gave him a hammer fist to really finish it off. And
that was nasty.
I mean, just an amazing fighter, style bender, you know, one of my favorites of all time. I mean, he has been, but now it's just like, man, he's trying to take the number 1 spot, right? You know how he's fighting. He's so exciting.
That was amazing. Nah, that was raw. That was raw.
And a lot of people is gonna have recency bias, but you hear people like Chael Sonnen just released his podcast a couple hours ago, and he literally said that, you know, Israel Adesanya is the greatest middleweight champion of all time. I mean, that's huge to say, because obviously Anderson Silva, and even he said better than me myself. So when Chael says it, you know, it's solidified. You know,
bet your bottom dollar on that word.
Speaking about betting your bottom dollar, guys, somebody's 10 for 10 here.
Oh man,
somebody is 10 for 10.
It ain't me. I've been losing these. These bets, dog.
10 for 10 in title fights. I doubt any other media member, analyst has that. Let's see the facts. Let's prove it. If you guys do, I'd be surprised if anybody has 5 in a row. I'm 10 for 10 right now, so you know we're gonna roll into Max Holloway and Almighty Arnold Allen a little bit later in our next segment. But I just think, I'm here at the MMA Bros podcast. It is facts over feelings, ladies and gentlemen. We are definitely trying to lead you in the right direction. We are trying to just make sure your money is protected. So shout out to DraftKings, FanDuel, everybody. And, UFC Miami 287 was just great vibes everywhere.
Yeah.
But once again,
Enter my bookie, all of that, yeah.
all that,
Hey, hit us up. We need, we need
we need
a
the
little
sponsors.
deal
We
for
need
y'all.
all that. But 10 for 10 right now,
sure.
and UFC title predictions. It's I'm on a freaking roll, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. We're going straight to the co-main event. Obviously why
we're gonna have to have a new segment. We might have to have a new segment called Bet with Mike. You know what I'm saying?
Have to,
Bet with Mike. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to
like
jinx it or nothing. You've been going crazy out here.
I like it.
By the way we were going.
And yeah, I mean, so that we're gonna go right into the co-main event. That's why I'm looking saucy too, because obviously I'm in Miami, but UFC 287, 305, King of Miami.
I thought at first before when you first hopped on, I thought I was talking to George Masvidal. I didn't know we had a special guest. We talking to the King of Miami himself. Oh, okay, that's Mike Rivers right there.
the King of Miami. I can't wait. It was a great fight. King of Miami, Jorge Masvidal took on Gilbert Burns. Wow, yeah, it was a good back and forth for most of the fight. You could see that George was just maybe a step behind, just a little bit slower. Yeah. Overall, he lost the fight, lost the decision. But what a career! He called it. He called it quits. He retired after the fight. And after a losing skid like that, you kind of seen it coming. But what a legendary career. Where he's taken it to. Obviously, he has so many opportunities outside the promotion, whatever he wants to do. So, congrats to Jorge Masvidal on a legendary career, but also congrats on Gilbert Burns for once again getting another top level win. Gilbert Burns is just a dangerous opponent, a overall true mixed martial artist. And after his post fight conference, he told Dana and the UFC basically he gave him an ultimatum where he said, "I'm backup fighter." Or fight for the title next, or release me and let me go. So, which are really strong words. Dana backed him and said, yes, he will be the backup fighter.
Yeah.
I
caught that. That was nice. Yeah. So
Leon takes on Colby. We're assuming it's going to be in London in late July. Yeah. But I mean, what did you think about that matchup? It was just it was a good fight.
Yeah, we had hopes for George Masvidal being that old George Masvidal, but we got to remember he's a 38-year-old man now. I'm not saying Gilbert Burns is much younger, but Gilbert Burns is fresher in the octagon. George Masvidal's been away for a little bit. He's coming back, and Gilbert Burns is top talent right here. I mean, he's going for the belt next after probably Leon and Colby. So. I mean, yeah, it was a good fight. Definitely, George was a bit slower. He couldn't keep up with him. I thought it was funny too when Gilbert Burns was talking in the post-fight press conference about how slippery George Masvidal was. Right. And how he had he said that was the old dirty dog Miami trick stuff. Yeah. They put lotion like 4 times a day. He's like, man, that was. Nah, it was a good fight. We've seen a couple little signs of George Masvidal. He had a good kick going the whole time, but he couldn't really put it together like that. Gilbert Burns pretty much dominated him throughout the fight. It was a good fight, and man, shout out to George Masvidal. What a great career he's had. To finish it right there in Miami, where he's from, where it started at. That's amazing, man. Great job right there. Beautiful moment.
Yeah, so Gilbert Burns takes over, wins that unanimous decision.
Yeah,
and we'll see if he ends up getting the winner of Leon and Colby, because you obviously know there's Bilal out there doing major work, and we'll see if they get matched up or if he gets Shavkat Rakhmonov, and we'll see, and obviously we'll see the matchups and go from there, and hope for the best for him, because he definitely deserves something good, and maybe another title opportunity, because he did lose to Usman back then, but. He's looking better and better, and he's understanding his game. He's understanding how to inflict his style. So I'm really liking Gilbert Burns there. We're gonna roll to the next one. Another one I got right. A lot of I would say 90% of the, and this is a high percentage. You might agree with me. I think 90% of the audience, fans, and maybe even analysts and everybody said that Adrian Yanez was going to be Rob Font. I'm getting sick and tired of the disrespect.
Yeah, they need to put some respect on Font's
I'm getting
name
sick and tired of my Tampa boy, my fellow Tampanian, Rob Font. You know, this guy is a great fighter. You know, he was on a great winning streak.
Nah, he's fired.
Yeah, he lost to Jose Aldo, one of the greatest of all time, probably the greatest in that division, and he lost to Tito Vera, who was on a killing winning streak before he just lost to Shane.
That was one of Tito's best performances. But Rob Font is nasty, man. He's raw for sure.
Yeah. So Rob Font, he just looked amazing in there. It was probably the greatest 3 minutes. Fight I've seen in a while because it was a lot of chaos. He was getting rocked. You know what I'm saying?
They both were. It was a back and forth. They was just mollywopping each other.
That was
amazing.
What did you think? Did you think he was going to get Rob Font out of there?
It was hard. It was hard. I thought he was going to go for the knockout, and I thought it could go either way. But I did not see. I seen either Rob Font winning by a decision or Yanez winning by a knockout, but I mean, neither of those happened. And Rob Font came through with an amazing knockout. What was that, an uppercut or? Oh my gosh, Rob! That was that was an amazing knockout. I think he got performance of the night bonus along with Izzy yesterday. So yeah, shout out to Rob Font. Yanez is going to come back strong too. We already know. But, hey, what's next for Rob Font? We don't know. It's only up from there. That was amazing.
Yeah, he called out Figgy. He called out Figueiredo to introduce him to the new weight class because
that would be an amazing fight. Wow.
Yeah, because he's up there in age. I think he's about 37, but at the same time he has really great boxing skills, kickboxing, and he's really technically sound. So it's just amazing to see a Tampa guy, Rob Font, still up here, still up in the rankings. So hopefully he gets somebody really high ranked. Or Figgy, so we'll see what's next.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be.
What do you think's next for Adrian Yanez, though? I mean, he's only 23 years old, but he's kind of still brand new in the promotion. What are you thinking? They give him somebody ranked again, or you think maybe unranked?
I think they'll give him a top 10 or like right at 10, 9, 10, 11, somewhere around there. You know what I'm saying? And see what he can do with it. Give somebody else a chance. They're gonna give him another tough matchup though. It's gonna be another tough matchup, and they're gonna see who's coming out on top of that. We gotta see who's the championship contenders out here. You know what I'm saying? We can't just put them against nobody's no more. It's that time you're gonna be tested every single time now. Once you reach that peak, it ain't no easy fights no more.
True. Well, Rob Font stops Adrian Yanez in the first round, and we're gonna go right into the next segment. Once again, another one I got right. Kevin Holland knocks out Santiago Ponzinibbio. What a great back and forth. Third round.
Holland.
Third round KO face plant. I mean, that guy literally fell right on his face. It was great. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, I loved it. I did not see that coming. I mean, it was a great fight. We had Ponzinibbio. He was coming through he had the nice calf kick the whole time. He was actually he had him so bad and hurt that he could barely even, keep up with them and stuff like that. Or not keep up with them. I mean, Kevin Holland was definitely keeping up with them. He's very quick and moves a lot and stuff like that. But he was hurting a lot. He kicked his legs so many times. I mean, he was hurt. He could barely put pressure on that left leg that he had. So to see that he had that left hook knockout, I mean, it came out of nowhere. Bow! I was like, oh my gosh. Like, wow. That's what we needed to see from Kevin Holland. I mean, that was amazing right there. I thought it was going all the rounds, especially during the fight. So to see that knockout coming, that was raw. I like that one. That was nice. Man, we had some great knockouts last night. I mean, you go from Izzy's knockout to Rob Font's knockout to Kevin Holland's knockout. I mean, whoa, what a fucking night.
Yeah, I mean, UFC Miami was on fire, just like Dana White said. It just the vibes here. The vibes here are just amazing. We're
gonna have to bleep that one out.
really love that. Just Kevin Holland just back on the winning track. A lot of people were counting him out. So I really, really like that he's just back to where he needs to be at. And now we're going to go to the one that started the main event. Raul Rosas Jr. took on Christian Rodriguez.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Man, they got to put some respect on Christian Rodriguez's name. I mean, he went down sold out. You know what I'm saying? We all thought it was not we all, but I would say a majority of the fans was going with that Raul Rosas hype, along with me too. I thought that strong wrestling was gonna overtake Christian Rodriguez, even though he's an older, more experienced fighter. I still thought that Raul Rosas had it, and I mean for the first round he was doing pretty well, but it was like he was too urgent to get the takedown, and he was wasting so much energy. I mean,
definitely.
He tired himself out. He couldn't even do nothing the next 2 rounds, and Christian Rodriguez was calm, cool, and collected like a silent killer, just coming in and waiting for the opportunity. He almost choked out Rosas. You know what I'm saying? He was giving it to him. He gave him some nice ground and pound too. I mean, shout out to that young man. He's only 25 years old, and he's going up from there. His name's gonna start ringing some bells too, beating somebody like Raul Rosas.
Definitely was a dominant performance, and shout out to Dustin Poirier for being guest analyst. He was amazing to see. We'll see if he gets that matchup with Justin Gaethje after all. We're rolling into our next segment, which is coming up this weekend, UFC Fight Night in Kansas, which is going to be Max Holloway, the legend, versus Arnold Allen. Max is 23-7 versus Allen 19-1. What do you think about this matchup?
Oh, fire matchup. I mean that's an amazing matchup. I mean, we just had a fire matchup in that weight division with Yair and Josh Emmett. And now we're gonna probably have the Yair and Alex Volkanovski. I mean, who's left? We got Brian Ortega somewhere out there flowing. He's gonna be fighting soon. But I mean, we got Taporia coming up too. But this fight right here, this pretty much could have been what the Yair Emmett fight was, because that was a contender for the pretty much for the interim. This is that caliber fight. The only reason this is not the interim is because Max Holloway has fought Volkanovski so many times. But these two are serious right here. We got Allen. He hasn't lost in the UFC. He's undefeated in the UFC. I mean, he's only got one loss in his whole career. He's 19-1. The guy, he's knocked out his last 2 opponents, and these guys got names. He's knocked out Hooker. He knocked out Calvin Kattar. So he's going into this matchup, and he's looking for heads right here. He wants to knock something out. Max Holloway wants to show everybody why he was champion, why he's still on that level. This is going to be an amazing fight. I can't wait for this fight. We're just getting back-to-back gems right here. Wow, thank you, UFC. I love you guys.
Yeah, so it's going to be an amazing matchup for sure. I'm trying to, Max is a 155 favorite right now. Arnold is a 135 underdog.
Okay.
So Max is number 2. Arnold is number 4. It's crazy because like you were saying, Allen only has that one loss, but on a 12 fight winning streak, the style he does, where he tracks people down, walks people down. It's going to be an amazing matchup. Who do you got?
Yeah, styles make matchups. I love me some Max Holloway, but I gotta go. I'm going with the hitter Arnold Allen. I mean, those last 2 wins were just super impressive, and Max Holloway's last performance not so impressive. I thought he should have stepped his game up, and it didn't seem like he stepped his game up. Arnold Allen seems like he's been stepping his game up every single match, and he's been knocking off heads. Most of his fights, have been unanimous decision, and then he has one submission. But the last 2, knockout against some top guys. I think his fighting style has opened up a bit. He just wants to swing and bang, like Derek Lewis says. And I'm looking for it. I mean, Max Holloway never been knocked out. He might get knocked out next weekend. I don't know about this. I'm going to go with the hitter Arnold Allen on this one.
Intriguing. I was looking for some juicy facts there to see, because I'm 10 for 10, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to go 11 for 11, right? So you can't, that's be facts.
Better with Mike.
Over feelings, and on that side over there, he's being really factual. I really, really, really want to go with Arnold Allen. I really want to. But I'm not. So Max Holloway's been out for about a year after his loss to Volkanovski. He is to me, he's still going to be faster, quicker, and a smarter fighter in there. Obviously has way more experience. He has experience and higher fights, and I'm thinking Max just gets it done. I think he stays away from the takedown, even if he gets pushed against the cage. I think he obviously knows what to do in those positions. He's going to elbow him, cut him up a lot, and I think with his kicks, he can keep him at bay. And I think that's what he's going to do a lot. He's going to pretty much outpoint him, but he's going to inflict damage like Max Holloway always does. And I think that he's just going to either get, one or two couple elbows or a punch or slip some nasty kicks in there that just slows Arnold Allen down. And, throughout the fight, that's going to take, wear and tear on him. And, Arnold Allen has a gas tank, but, we haven't seen him 5 rounds multiple times, so many different main events be there in the 5th round, have we? I mean, we haven't. He hasn't had that opportunity, you know what I'm saying?
Nah.
So even the 5-round fight he just had before, I mean, he knocked or got out of there in the 1st round. So it's just so one of the 1st rounds, but it's just so tough to call. I'm here. This one is really tough, but I am going with Max Holloway for my 11-for-11 streak UFC main event title fight prediction.
So you think Max Holloway outpoints him?
I do think he does that, but while he's outpointing him, he's going to be breaking him down. So he's going to be hit him, in his calf, slowing him down. He's going to slip some jab. Obviously, his jab is amazing. So
you saying he's going to leave him how he left Calvin Kattar, pretty much?
Not that bad. We're not going to go there. But it's going to be a war, but it's going to be a chess match too. These guys are elite fighters. But I do think Max does get the win here, which is just going to be another banger, man. Like you said, UFC is going wild. So go ahead, put y'all bets in 11-for-11. You can book it, Max Holloway. And now we're going straight to the co-main event to another legend, number 14 ranked Edson Barboza takes on the Tampa boy, Billy Quarantillo.
Shout out Tampa.
Billy Quarantillo, yes. This one is going to be a firecrackers. Of course, this one is looking like a maybe Edson Barboza's retirement fight, especially if he loses. But it's going to be a banger. I mean, this is a striker on striker matchup. This is, Billy is just a monster. He's a dog amongst dogs. You know what I'm saying? So I think, Billy is just going to go in there.
His thing for sure.
Yeah, he's just going to do in there, throw everything, in the kitchen sink. I just think that Billy Q is going to be able to eventually break down Edson Barboza, which is crazy to say, by the end of the 3rd round. But at the same time, Edson Barboza, obviously the best leg kicks and just anything with his feet of all time. People are so scared of his speed and power. He's just super dangerous. So what do you think about that matchup?
Oh, it's a phenomenal matchup. Anytime you got somebody really striking there with Barboza and you get to see them going back and forth, I mean, you're going to have a heck of a fight right there. I do like Billy, man. I want to go Billy, man, but I just being that is getting to the end of his career right here, and I think he wants to really show out. I think we're going to get some glimpses of that old Barboza, and I think it's going to be enough to win him. I think he might actually kick the legs from out under Billy. You know what I'm saying? He's known as that specialist. He's done it in the past, and I think he's going to really swing and bang them legs. He's going to start throwing some brutal shots. I don't know if Billy can hang in there with that. Can he? He's a tough guy too. So we're going to see. It's going to be a heck of a fight. It's going to be fight of the night contender for sure.
Definitely. So who do you got?
I got Barboza on that one.
All right, I got Billy Q, so you already know where to put your money, ladies and gentlemen. Too much sauce. We're going to go straight into our last segment, too much sauce. It could be the best knockout, best submission, best feel-good moments. What do you got as your too much sauce for this episode 9 of MMA Bros podcast?
I mean, too much sauce. I mean, we probably got both the same one, you know what I'm saying? But definitely got the Izzy knockout last night. To regain the champion, the feel good move, the feel good moment for him to come back after losing so many times to Alex Pereira and getting knocked out his last fight, and to come back with a more vicious knockout. I mean, the finish and everything, he sauced that thing up. The arrows out the back, using Alex Pereira's own move against him. You know what I'm saying? And then just for them two, they met up in the back, after the fight, shook hands like men, like true champions, and had some type of agreement with each other and a cordial understanding. It was beautiful. That was definitely my too much sauce moment for last night. It was crazy. That was crazy. It's one of the best knockouts, best moments I've ever seen in UFC history by far, for sure.
Yeah, it's one of the best stories, and man, I guess you were right, man. You were like, oh, I guess we have the same one. We've never had the same too much sauce, and it's still not the same. All right, I got Kevin Holland. I got Kevin Holland as my too much sauce, knocking out Santiago Ponzinibbio. Just because nobody believed in him. I called it. I knew he was going to knock him out. I said Kevin Holland by knockout.
Yeah.
He starched him. I mean, it was an amazing knockout. It was a great win to get him back on trajectory. And he's a knockout master. I mean, this guy's been, knocking people out for forever. Obviously, he's been your favorite, one of your favorite fighters for a long time, So, I mean, hopefully he gets back on a winning streak too, so we could see him, possibly in the title fight. I mean, that'd be amazing.
That left hook was just so nasty. Oh my
God! Extended. I've seen that replay. It was money. But definitely shout out to Israel Adesanya, a style bender, man. He's just an amazing fighter, one of my favorites of all time, and probably you could be the greatest of all time when it's all said and done. So shout out to him and the whole UFC 287 in Miami. Shout out to them. Met so many great fighters. I can't even mention all of them. It could be Hannah Goldie, Andrei Arlovsky. I mean, there's so many people there. Phil Rowe. So shout out to everybody, all the fighters in the organization. And that's it. That's our episode, ladies and gentlemen. MMA Bros Podcast, episode 9 is in the book. So we will be back next week with episode 10, and that's going to be a special one. So go ahead, watch. This UFC Max Holloway versus Arnold Allen. You already know. Put your money on Max, and then put your money on Billy Q. Let's go. MMA Bros, we signing out.
Let's get it. Salud, 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 salud.
Big now. Start with all that talking, we gon' get it poppin'. You know they be hating, but they keep on watching. He say he gon' do this and that, he flashing. When you was watching Batman, I was out here robbing. You might catch me in that Charger, but I'm never dodging. I ain't never been a hooper, but I been a baller. I be in Chicago ballin' like